What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another great episode of Bucs Report, the Aftermath. One of your co-hosts, AJ Turnup. I hope you're doing good. I hope you got your popcorn. I got your rum. And get ready for fucking football. It's here. We had our first preseason game. We'll dissect that in a little bit. But I just want you to get yourself prepared because, again, we're going to be talking football, Bucs ball, you name it. And we got to start off with this right here, though. This is the thing that's going to get you hyped, as you should. Peep this.
Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we going to do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we going to do? Let's get it. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
I want you to think what he said. We got the best team. So as far as we can go, it's going to be up to us. But no further ado, let's bring in Coach Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always fly. How you doing, sir? Everybody, I'm good. Check out that dope-ass football jersey. That's something. That is something. I like shit like that. I'm going to need that. Did you order that, sir?
There's a store in the UK that got a contract with the NFL, so they started producing lots of NFL merchandise. And the Buccaneers were like one of the last teams they did, because obviously they did the Patriots, they did all like the really big teams, like the Raiders are really big, the Dolphins are really big over here, because a lot of fans were from like the 80s when we had free to air football. We'd get free Monday night football and we'd get free Sunday night football. And that's how people got indoctrinated into the NFL in the early days. So those teams still kind of carry a little bit of weight because that's what everyone watched back in the 80s and early 90s. So the Green Bay makes a splash, Patriots make a splash, and the Buccaneers came later. So they got some good stuff, but this was one of them. I got two of these. They are sweet, and they've got the shorts to match. So it looks like you're wearing a fucking play suit, but got two pairs of those motherfuckers too.
Yeah, red and black is my favorite, my favorite color to wear. So that's why I always say, Slick, I was born to be a Buck fan because that's just my shit. But oh man, I'm just happy. Let's get right into it about this Bucks preseason game. I want you to tell me overall, what did you think? Give me certain players that you enjoyed watching, and what's the upside that you see, and where do you see that they're improvements need to be for particular players. I want your coaching advice before we get into that, Slick. Everybody, please let's check out my YouTube channel. It's about Bucking Time, but there's a video called Give Coach Slick an Opportunity. This is a defensive-minded man right here, guys. He loves the game, knows defense and the offense as well. It's called Give Coach Slick an Opportunity. We want him to be over here in the States permanently. Don't you want a UK British fly guy talking to your team, bringing that lingo over there and saying these teams are bollocks? Now, with that being said, Slick, let's give us your professional analysis.
Okay, rushing attack was really, really good. They could not stop our run game. You go and look at the figures. We really dominated in the run game, got way over 150 yards on the ground at every level. So when Sean Tucker came in, he got himself 50 yards. When Owen Wright came in, he got himself 87 yards, who I think, to be honest, has really kind of knocked on the door a little bit. I feel sorry for him because I hope they carry four backs. They carry four backs, he's in. Sean Tucker, we know what he can do. We know he's going to be with the team. Rashad White's going to be there. You're going to, and of course, our guy. Yeah, he didn't feature that night, but that's fine. We don't need him to get banged up, bruised up in a game that doesn't mean fuck all. So everyone kind of did their job. 2 touchdowns on the ground. Really pleased with the rushing attack. I think everyone, like Owen Wright, averaged himself 4.8, Sean Tucker 3.8, and Rashad White 4.7. So everyone had a decent day on the ground, which is what you want to see. It is essentially what you want to see. Kyle Trask looked decent on, like, from a pass completion point of view. Couldn't put the ball in the end zone, but the rushing attack was so good, so why not use it? I would have liked them to press upon him potentially firing a few more balls in there, but I believe he was out of the game by that time anyway. So, but that would be something I'd want to look at going into the next game. If we get into a red zone situation, I want him to pass us to a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be. I want you to show me that you can throw fucking touchdowns, because we ain't. If anything bad happens, you want a guy who can sling it when he needs to sling it. Going into the receiving game, Ryan Miller was just that guy. It is Miller time. We had that a couple of years. We had that a couple of years ago with was it Sean Miller? No,
Ryan Miller. You mean Scotty Miller?
It can't be Ryan Miller. Probably two Ryan Millers.
You mean the receiver that we have on the preseason that was Ryan Miller?
Yeah, that's Ryan Miller, but I'm talking about back in the day.
Scotty Miller.
Scotty.
Scooter, a.k.a.
Scooter. Right, so now it's Miller time again.
Yes.
So I'm loving that. McMillan had a decent day. Emeka Ibuka just did his thing. We don't want to see these guys get banged up too much. So that's always good. Devin Culp had a few. But yeah, it was all about Ryan Miller when it came to the game. He got himself 6 receptions to 66 yards. Good average. Everyone else did enough. We'll go into the defense. Defensively, this team stops the run. And this team can now, against what they put up against us, we can actively say that we can play good defensive pass coverage at the moment. It made me feel confident. I would like to have seen more from Chris Braswell. This is where I was expecting him to dominate a bit more. Maybe at least I wasn't expecting him to get 3 sacks or anything stupid like that. But for him to be able to go in and just get the one, have that kind of mark on the day would have been really good. But Nick Jackson and JJ Roberts just stole the show for me. Nick Jackson just being everywhere, and JJ Roberts doing his thing. So really pleased with those kind of guys. Everyone else just I don't think they were in for particular long. Nice to see Shiloh Sanders get on the board with something. Jacob Parrish locking down guys. Ultimately, this Buccaneers didn't really play a lot of starters, if any, to be honest. And to have that kind of dominant of a day, I'll take it. I don't know the Titans roster enough because I don't care enough about the Titans. I don't know if it was the same kind of thing. They did the same, except for the quarterback, obviously, because you want to see what your quarterback can do because you just invested a first-round pick into him. But yeah, ultimately, I think the things that we need to work on is more pass rush. We want to get home a little bit more. But this team looks opportunistic right now. It looks like it can run the football. I'm not going to judge the wide receiving core too harshly because at the end of the day, Emeka Ibuka's only in for very little. And you're talking about guys like Jalen McMillan and Ryan Miller making most of the plays. You don't know if those guys are going to make the roster yet. It's good that McMillan gets on the board, but does he make the roster? I think he does, but we'll see. What about yourself?
I hear you, man. First of all, great assessment. Everything else, I was looking at players that were standing out. I was looking at for players that were fighting for a roster, looking for, okay, you're meddling on the line, and then get your shit together. Now, I'm going to start with the get your shit together. Braswell, you named it. Get your shit together. You're doing this against a bunch of guys that might not even be in the league, that might be ending up doing whatever else outside of the league, and you're not producing. You're going to have to step up. Our 4th rounder is out in Walker, so you're going to have to be the guy. One thing that he could do at least was the stopping the run. However, they saw a weakness when it came to the passing because there was one instance where Ridley caught a pass and Braswell was looking so lost when he was trying to get and make a tackle. That's unacceptable. Braswell, you have got to get your shit together. You were a 2nd round from Alabama. And again, he is still subpar on his angle tackling. Old saying, go to where the receiver is going, not where he is. Because if you're focused on where he is, he can change his direction, and you will get lost in the sauce. So, Braswell, get your shit together. Please get your shit together. Nick Jackson, an interception and a sack. He's playing for a spot. I think he will be good in depth, and I think he's a player that you can develop. I see the potential in there. I see the raw talent. I think as long as he gets his bull rushing ability up to par, he'll be fine. Jacob Parrish stole the show for me. He was a man playing like he wanted to be there, and he wants to make this roster. It's something about these fourth rounders, Slick. We saw this out of Bucky last season, and now we're seeing it out of Parrish. I am very impressed.
This is where I say this all the time. Day 3 is where the magic happens for this Buck team in the draft. We don't all in recent years we've been okay with hitting on our first round picks. But before that, when we had that really poor period, before I would say, Devin White's a crazy one, and we'll get more into Devin White later on because just like he started off good and it was a gradual decline.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we didn't have good history with those first round picks. We just didn't. Second round picks, we're hit and miss. But the third round, all the way to the fifth round, that's where we did our dirty work, and we ended up churning out really good caliber players. Your Chris Godwins come from there. Logan Hall comes from there, and he's having decent. We go back to some of the other guys that we've had. Man, this is the area where the Buccaneers draft well. I don't know what it is. They're really good at spotting talent that maybe should have been drafted earlier and that doesn't. And I think, like you said, Jacob Parrish falls in that category 100%. So really pleased with what we're doing as a team in the scouting, and we'll talk a bit more about the scouting a little bit later because
100%.
Our GM has been talking his talk, and
yes,
we can see why he succeeds.
Exactly. And I'll say this: Owen Wright definitely deserves to be on a spot on the roster. Sometimes I wish we could go 4 running backs, but it's okay. He could be our insurance policy if one of our guys is hurt. I saw stability. I saw agility. I saw burst. I saw the most important thing for me as a running back. I see no fear when you hit the fucking gaps. That's what he did. And he followed it directly. So I was very pleased with that. Now, when it comes to the wide receiving core, man, this is a blessing. Having all these receivers is a problem in a good way. Slick, if I am a wide receiver coming out for the Bucs, man, I feel for them, but at the same time, it's a good thing because it's going to you're not only auditioning for the Bucs, you're going to be auditioning for 31 other teams. So if they see that you're out there doing your thing like a Ryan Miller could be a guy that other teams might say, you know what? The Bucs are loaded at receivers already. Let's take a look and see if Ryan would like to come over here for a few extra dollars. He represents stability, and also Ryan Miller, Raheem Jarrett of the world, they would be at least number 3 receivers on any other roster. That's how fucking loaded the Bucs are, and I am damn proud that we can do that. Also, the 2 most important things I saw at the receiving course league that's going to set a precedence for this Bucs team. The young boys are going to take all the beatings for Godwin and Evans to be utilized more later in the season. I love it. I like the fact that McMillan and Ibuka are going to be the guys who can also go out for short passes and deep passes, but they're going to be able to take the brunt of the hits. Meanwhile, people like Evans and Godwin can sit and nurture that ankle. Meanwhile, Evans can just get the little contested catches, get the third downs catches. We want to, again, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody's asking you when it comes to Mike Evans, I don't need Evans to have a 1,500-yard season. I want Evans, for me, between 12 to 1,300 yards, but I'm speaking this in existence, Slick. I already see Evans having a career-high 15-plus touchdowns. Why? Them young boys are going to extend his longevity. This is what Jason Light was doing, folks. This is what makes him a genius, Slick. He is aware we don't need Evans to get beat up. That's what's kept Evans so long. It has kept his longevity in the fucking league. You know why, Slick? He's smart. He doesn't take unnecessary hits. This man said, when I catch the ball, I'm going down. Because you know why? I'm living to fight another down, and my next catch will be in the end zone. So that's why I say this year, don't be surprised, Slick, if McMillan and Emeka are the ones that are carrying you down the field, and then Evans out of nowhere gets that 30-yard bomb or that 5-yard pass to the red zone. I expect to see a lot of red zone catches this year. I see at least 6 red zone catches alone. So he's going to get 15 touchdowns, no less than 15. I'm booking it.
Here's my theory on Mike Evans, and you touched on it quite quickly about him not getting injured. This is what a lot of people don't see. The style of wide receiver play that Mike Evans plays, which is usually jump balls, catching the ball, not in stride, but more like high pointed and what have you, which means you usually come straight down. 9 times out of 10, somebody's on you the moment the ball's in your hands. The difference is the type of hit you're getting. You're getting a hit that's going to throw you straight into the ground. What? Because you've got no momentum. Because you're catching the ball in the air and you've just hit the ground. It's one of those ones that you catch it on a stop. You catch it on. If he catches it in stride, he's running it to the house, and we know he does that. But it's not always the thing that he tends to do. Whereas a Chris Godwin runs a lot more intermediate routes, which are shorter. He catches the ball and runs with it. When you are being tackled while you're running with the ball, your feet are still churning. What happens? Your ankles can get caught. Your knees can get caught. Those are the things that this is why all these wide, when people turn around and go, "Oh, Mike Evans doesn't run a sexy route tree." Okay, fair enough. You're allowed to have that opinion. That's absolutely fine. Right. He doesn't run the same route tree as Chase. He doesn't run the same route tree as Jets. He doesn't run the same route tree as insert fucking wide receiver here, right? And I was like, okay, but there's a reason why those guys get injured, because they're receivers that catch the ball and run with the ball in space. That means people can come down and hit them from multiple angles, which means they might get tackled by 3 to 4 different people in any one tackle. Swarm to the ball is what's preached on defense, right? When Mike Evans catches the ball, he's either double covered or he's single covered, which means he usually only has one person tackle him to the ground, opposed to having, and you're talking about the types of bodies too. You're having in those intermediate routes, you got linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks, and everything that's available. When you're playing the way Mike Evans plays, you're probably going to get tackled by cornerbacks and safeties, right, for the most part, right? And that is why I believe that he's been able to have that longevity, because the style of football that he plays doesn't put his body in harm's way as such as the other guys who are running with the football. Your cleats can get caught in the dirt. Someone tackles you. You're still. What do we preach? What do we preach when you're being tackled? I'm sure you've preached this. Keep moving your feet. Keep moving your feet.
Keep moving your feet.
Because it's usually safer than just standing there, right? 9 times out of 10. But you can also get your feet caught up. You can get hit low. You can get hit here. You can get hit there. When you are high pointing a ball on a deep pass and you're coming down with it, so you're top shelving it, you're going up and bringing it straight down, you're going to probably get whacked in the back and you're going to hit the dirt. Done.
Yeah. Now, another thing that I also teach as well, Slick, is, and this is just from my say, because when I've seen players do this, I say fall forward to the ground. Why? Because it's better to fall forward than to fall sideways or on your back. Like you said it before, Slick. It's not just corners hitting you. What if a big linebacker, a 265-pound linebacker hits you, or they pull you to the ground? Now their momentum and weight is leaning on your 199-pound frame, and that's how these guys end up with ACL tears. That's how they end up with ankle breaks, because you got big motherfuckers hitting you. And that's why it's okay to be a different type of receiver, and longevity is a part of greatness. The best availability, a best player is the most available. Again, when people go to the if game, well, if he was, that's the problem. If ain't, this is not how football works. Slick, Amon St. Brown, Chris Godwin, Jamar Chase, they're all short route volume receivers, high volume receivers. There's a reason why a lot of those guys don't last long. Amon St. Brown proved it to us last season, Slick. He couldn't even finish the fucking game at a critical time against the Bucs. Against the Bucs, he couldn't finish. Why? Because his body was beat to shit. That's what we're trying to explain here, and that's what I'm saying, Slick. That's why I love what I saw out of Emeka and McMillan, it's giving me hope that, okay, Evans doesn't have to be the guy that's always getting you down the field. I think Slick, people don't realize you don't want that for your number one receiver because it's 17 games in football. They're not going to last that long. Slick, a lot of people act like that these players are playing at 100%, which in reality, most of them are blessed to play at 75% health. So that's where a lot of y'all people out there, no disrespect, that's how y'all don't. I can tell a lot of y'all don't know football or been around it or played it. Those guys don't want to take those fucking hits all the time. So with that being said, our offense is.
I agree with what you're saying, man. Like, I'm just I had a quick look at we always do when we look at Mike Evans. We always look at where he ranks in touchdowns and where he ranks in receiving yards all time, right?
Right.
He is miles behind on receptions.
Yep.
Miles and miles behind. I think he is ranked. He hasn't even caught Julio Jones in receptions yet. He hasn't even caught Stephon Diggs. These are people who have been drafted after him, not Julio Jones, obviously. Devontae Adams, same year as him. Keenan Allen, 1 year before him. DeAndre Hopkins, 1 year before him. Travis Kelce, 1 year before him. But Tyreek Hill is nipping at his heels by about 30 receptions, which he'll get sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. And he's 3 years. He's 2 years he's 2 years behind Mike. And my point is, Mike Evans isn't that high volume of a wide receiver as you think he is, because he's ranked 35th all time. But his touchdowns put him in the top 10.
Boom. That's all you got to say on that one. And on that note, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back. We got a guest waiting in the wings, and we're going to get back to talking Bucs football, baby. Let's get it going. We'll be right back. We're going to play some motivation shit for you.
Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we going to do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we going to do? Let's get it. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
The fuck do you not get hyped off that if you are Bucs fans out here? First of all, I would like to bring in a guest right now, y'all. Is a Bucs fan, and he's from Louisiana, out of all places, y'all. That's how you know Bucs. We run deep out this bitch. AKA the man is a sensation on TikTok. Let's bring it in for Benny Ray, y'all. What's good?
Up, bro? What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. We just out here just talking about the preseason, just letting you know some of the big highlights. Kyle Trask looked competent. Emeka Ibuka is going to be a stud. I say this, Slick, you didn't hear this yet, but I'm gonna say this right now. He's gonna get 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think Jalen McMillan will get between 600 to 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. And I said this already, Benny, that Mike Evans will get 15 plus touchdowns this year because them young boys are out there. They'll be able to take the brunt of the hits, and this man will be used in short red zone situations, or he'll be able to break off a 20-yard touchdown. So it's looking mighty bright. And then the defensive side, Jacob Parrish, our nickelback, 4th rounder, he's playing like he wants a spot. So we want to ask you, Benny, what is it that you want to see from the Bucs this season that you might not have saw last year, or your expectations?
I don't know. I think our offense was pretty good last year. It's gonna probably be on the defensive side. I like to see our run defense probably a little better. But I mean, I think our linebackers were pretty weak last year. If I had to pick somewhere on defense where I'm like, but I mean, I'm interested to see what Shiloh turns out to be.
It's funny you mentioned Shiloh. I think Shiloh is actually okay. However, now, Slick, I could be wrong because you're a defensive-minded coach. So if I'm wrong, this is me. When he got that blitz on the quarterback, I want him to be more of a situational thinker. Here's why, fellas. In my opinion, if you can sense that quarterback is just going to lob it in the air, jump in the air and see if you can take that ball out of the air, because the way that the quarterback lobbed that, first of all, Slick, I'd have cussed him out. You don't ever throw a little cupcake in the air like that. That's a pick six waiting to happen. You better at least eat the fucking sack, pause, or you throw the ball away. So am I wrong with that kind of thinking, Slick?
I don't hate what you're saying, but I think you got to take into account that you've got old momentum right behind you. You're breaking down for your tackle. If he's already breaking down for tackle while that ball's being thrown, he can't high point the ball, so it's not going to happen. If he's still leading up to it, yeah, he probably could. Absolutely. I'd have to relook at it to be honest, but it all depends on at what point he made the decision that he's going for the tackle, opposed to and 9 times out of 10 it should be literally in his face. You shouldn't be going for a tackle with 3 or 4 yards to go. Well, sorry, with five plus yards to go. You should be looking at chopping your feet and breaking down into your tackle at that point. Also, I think there's a little bit of glory in there, like as in putting a guy on his ass, because he really did put him on his ass, and he's made a name for himself in camp and in college for being that hard hitting safety. So maybe he wanted to do a piece of that, and yeah, I'd have to look at it, but it all depends on at what point he decided. Like, where's the ball in the quarterback's hands at the point he's breaking down? And if it is while the ball is being cocked back, then I would say that he's done the right thing. If it's more the case that the ball is about to leave, it is already left his hands, then he probably should have high pointed it.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I asked that question, because Slick, I just wanted to go back to it, but maybe he made a business decision. Let me just make the for sure thing first instead, because there's a reason why sometimes I think everything is just a fucking moment where you can just shine. But hold on, I want to ask you this, Benny, because you are Louisiana. We've already had this discussion before. This man's a diehard LSU fan. We've had this discussion. I'm a Florida boy, so we try to keep our home team biases out. We recently talked about this, like about them 0-1 Hurricanes, that if they played the 2019 LSU Tigers, this would be happening. What's that sound, Slick? That's them cheeks. You put that them cheeks because my 0-1 was just too deep. They were just too much. But I want to ask you this though, Benny. What made you become a Tampa fan? Was it a player? Was it family? What made you decide to be a Bucs fan? You made the right decision, but
it was All-Star and Michael Pittman. Pittman went to LSU.
mm-hmm.
So I just followed them there, and then like everybody, would, because I'm from North Louisiana, so it's like Shreveport. So you either a Saints fan or a Dallas fan, right? But it was mostly Dallas fans, and I fucking hated the Cowboys. And nobody in Northern Louisiana really was Saints fans until they won the Super Bowl. So I'm like, well, I don't want a dick ride just because they won the Super Bowl, because y'all wasn't fucking with them because everybody's wearing paper bags on their head. And so I just followed him. And then I had like Joey Galloway. And then we had got Cadillac. That's when I really started like, okay. But it was because Michael Pittman and All-Star.
Hey, look, All-Star is a cornerstone player down here, man. Look, that man can go anywhere in Tampa he wants, and he has no drinks paid for, including me. If I see that motherfucker right now, I'll be like, hey, look, what you want, man? The first 3 drinks are on me. So that's good. All-Star is one of the cornerstones. I run like him. As a running back, that's what I like to do. Yeah. So I hear you on that. But since we're talking about Bucs players and fucking hating Dallas, this will get into the segment. We're going to talk about this, Benny and Coach Slick. Jason Light, our beloved GM, the man who made the greatest free agency in all time, Benny and Slick, by acquiring Tom fucking Brady to come to Tampa. So anybody else tell you different, Benny? Don't let Eagles fans tell you no bullshit about, Saquon was the greatest. No. Fuck all that. No. That's dumb as shit. That ain't even in the top 20. But anyway, Jason Light was talking about Devin White, another Louisiana boy, about how he was self-absorbed and how he thought about himself only. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's why he did not last on the Bucs. Now, Benny, if you looked at him, his entire career, it hasn't panned out. He went to the Eagles. Mind you, this is the Super Bowl winning Eagles, and he couldn't even stay on that roster, and he lost his position to a fucking rookie. Then he went to the Texans, hasn't done shit. And now he is with the Raiders, a journeyman at this point. The fall off has to be studied. How you
Well, I
go?
mean, he got paid.
He got paid, but
and that's kind of, well, to be fair, I don't know. Let me tell my
He can
daddy
get paid
to
on
ask his granny because she work at the post office with my daddy. So
who paid him?
I'm a go.
He's paid his rookie deal. He didn't get
Huh?
yeah,
paid.
he only had a rookie deal payment. Yeah, he
I thought
didn't
he
get.
got paid.
No, that was the reason he wanted the $100 million bag from the Bucs. But
Buccaneers never re-signed him. They got rid of him after his 5th-year option.
yep,
Okay, that's what it was.
and the thing is,
He
Benny,
wanted money, but they said no. You're going to play out your 5th-year option, and then he played out his 5th-year option. He asked for a trade, I believe, during that 5th-year option. They said no. You're going to play out your contract. Plays out his contract, and then what happened last year happened last year.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why I bring this up, Benny, because it's getting to a point now where back in the day, you know this, we all know a lot of people say fuck the owners. They want to be plantation kind of people. They don't want to pay anybody. They don't want to do this and do that. However, when these guys do get the bag, all of a sudden, I'm hurt now. I'm injured. I don't want to work hard. Or you're not even the best at it. Because I bring that up because Devin White couldn't cover for shit, Benny. He couldn't cover. That was his biggest issue. And he got exposed with that after the Super Bowl run. And he started loafing. When you have Warren Sapp calling you out about loafing, that's a problem. Then he showed if he was such a great player, how come he couldn't work on Philly? Philly was a stacked team. Then he went to the Texans where there is no linebacker talent. He should have excelled there. He didn't. This is why, for me, Benny and Slick, I'm at this point where some of the owners, I can rock with why I wouldn't want to pay you. For me, Benny, personally, if you're going to ask for that kind of money, my expectations are you're going to perform at that. That's why you were talking about Dallas before. I said this in my video. If I was Dallas, I would trade Micah Parsons. He's a fucking headache. One, he can't stop the run. He's not good in coverage. And he's not even the best at pass rushing. And
I think it's a tough one when you've got somebody, and he is in the top 10 of pass rushing. Like he's in that 7 to 5 argument, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to want to get rid of that because you ain't going to find another pass. You won't always find another pass rusher. So that's why you've got to be cautious. But here's the thing. Dallas has never been a team that does their due diligence. They've never been a team that goes like we talked off the show about this already, about how character is a big thing at the Buccaneers. Look, like if they knew what they knew now, I believe Light's words were, if I knew what I knew now about Devin White, he would have never been drafted. Never been drafted. Right? And you can say that about guys in the league. There are guys in the league that you go, yeah, he's good, but what a fuck it. Is it worth the effort? Right? Now, for someone like Devin White, it's 100% not worth the effort because you've just burnt a first-round pick for a guy who will become nobody unless he figures shit out now, right? Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons has never been bad. He's never been bad. So it's a different conversation for him. He's not in the same ballpark as him. He is a very good pass rusher. So it's kind of like if you trade him, and the problem is when you put out a guy for trade, he's worth less. If someone knocks on your door and goes, how much for Micah Parsons? That number is a lot higher. And that's my point. You can't just trade him because you're going to get low ball figures. And you're not going to just... unfortunately, you're married to you're handcuffed to a guy that, yeah, you might want to move away from because he's not that... he's not forthcoming as a team player. He's not a captain. He's not a leader of men.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't deny his talent. He's a top 7 pass rusher for sure. Like,
yeah, I think they pay. I think you pay him. You keep, but I think they need to give him something to complement on that line. Also, it's not like Dallas's D line is complimentary for Micah Parsons to thrive, and it's not like Micah Parsons is a what's
TJ Watt.
Well, Myles Garrett. Garrett. I mean, he's a fucking unit, you know. So I mean, I don't really want to talk about Dallas, but if we gonna talk about,
Well, I want to talk
I
about. I
mean,
want to talk about the mindset, Benny.
I think you pay Micah.
But Benny, I want to ask
But
about
you
the
pay him
mindset.
top. What do you? Because he wants top dollar. He wants the best in the position. He ain't worth the best in the position. This is the
Yeah,
problem for
yeah.
Dallas. He wants to be paid.
What?
In his mind, he is the best pass rusher in football, but he's not. He's
Yeah.
probably He's probably between top 7 and top 4. He's in there somewhere. Like AJ, reel me off better pass rushers than him.
Oh, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Hendrickson, and low key Hunter.
Yeah. So he's 5th in the argument, right? Hunter will probably be out in a couple of years, so he's probably going to get in the top 4, top 3 kind of argument at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But he's never been the number 1 guy, and he's commanding that salary. And we know this by football standards because Patrick Mahomes was considered to be the best quarterback in football, but he ain't paid like the best quarterback in football no more because what happens is you sign for top dollar, and all the agents turn around and go, "That's the money my guy wants."
That's the
And
money.
so it goes up and up and up and up.
And that's
It's
where
not
I wanted
surprising.
to ask you this, and Benny and Slick. But Benny, I want to ask you, what's with the mindset of these youngins nowadays? That's what gets me, because you're getting a lot of this money already, but when you don't play to the level and you fail and people criticize you, you just said it, Benny. He doesn't have a D line, but if I'm an owner, there's a thing called salary cap, motherfucker. I can't give you a king's salary and then you expect me to afford to help you. Use your common sense, players. It's not just about you. And these are you. I just don't get these young motherfuckers no more.
I think that I mean, I don't know. I'm never gonna be against these players getting their money. We talking about billionaire owners. They got the money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it boils down to, like, the players who, well, I'm not gonna say no, but you get a grasp of players like who was it? Dallas paid a while ago, and
Dak Prescott.
No. Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, not Trevor
No,
Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence, was it?
DeMarcus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DeMarcus.
and they paid him all that money, but it was like he had that one good season, and it's like he wasn't consistent enough to be like, okay, we trust, or we have a large enough sample size to pay him what he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Because then as far as like managing salary cap, I mean, that's what they pay GMs and all these stat people. That they pay these people good money to figure that stuff out. And I mean, you get teams like the Eagles who figure it out. They can pay their quarterback and still make moves in the draft and in free agency to get key pieces and things of that nature. So I think that when you talk about players getting paid, I'm just never gonna argue about these guys getting their money. I mean, so hey, that's the risk they take. If he's, I think you can do enough to get a decent sample size of the player. I think it's easier in football to figure out the players who are gonna get paid and then just go off into the wind versus like basketball, like the NBA. I think it's really bad over there compared to like football.
No, I get you.
I think with football, there's so much more to work out because obviously there's only fucking 5 people playing at any one time in basketball, whereas you've got 11, and then depending on which team you put out. But no, I think there's really good points that you made, because I'm just looking at DeMarcus Lawrence right now, and his highest sack total was in 2017 with 14.5, and then the next one's 10.5. After that, he's never been a double-digit guy, and that was 2018 was the last one. So that means they paid him at some point, and he ain't produced since.
I think the 14.5 was when the year he was in his contract year. I think the 14.5 one.
He got very lucky then.
Yes. Well,
he went from 8 sacks to 14.5 sacks, and they went, show him the money. And I think sometimes you have to, because pass rushers are at a premium, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Dallas won't get rid of him. They may have to just get the coppers out Their pockets are very deep. The thing
Yeah.
is, when we talk about I want anyone to get their money, but
Yeah.
like as AJ said, there's this thing called the salary cap, and we know if there was no salary cap, it would just become like English soccer, where the richest team would be the best team because you could just go, fuck it, I'll buy everyone. You could, but that kind of bores the game to a pieces where if you were to, I don't know if either you watch Premiership soccer. I'm not a huge fan of soccer myself, but the richest team right now in the UK is Man City, and they've won the most premierships in the last 5 years. There's a reason for that they have the richest fucking roster because they're basically funded by a fucking country. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, again, but
So,
Slick and Benny, y'all might be. I might be just too old fashioned, but damn it, I'm looking at your ass like you gonna play to the level of my expectations. So if I give you that generational wealth kind of money, I expect generational output.
But I think most players who are getting paid these crazy contracts, for the most part, I feel like most of them do.
I don't think so, because for me, if you don't have the leadership skills,
So give me an example of like last year, the big contracts that went out. Like, I mean, I can't think of none off the top of my head. I think what did Jalen
Jalen
Lamar.
Ramsey was overpaid when he got his big deal.
I give you other numbers. I give you other players because I'm sick of these motherfuckers getting all this glory where people act like that we have
name
never
him.
I'm giving Justin Jefferson, I'm calling it out, and Jamar Chase. You want to know who Jamar Chase
you be hating on my LSU boys?
It ain't about hating. It's just
nah, man, they're the top. They're the top 5 wide receivers in football.
They are the top 5 receivers, but they one just happens to play with an elite quarterback, and I'm not knocking them for that. But my thing is the overhype. The thing is,
I think if you put Chase on most squads, unless they've got a really bad offensive line and a really bad core, he's still going to play, man. He's still
good. But my thing is,
he's great, dude.
Let's be honest. Good is not enough because it's been plenty of times. I need leaders. I need people that are going to transcend your team. If I'm going to
Joe Burrow spends more time on his ass than he does stood up throwing a fucking ball.
That's the quarterback job, bro. I need my receivers to go out there and make plays. So if you think Jay Jettas and Jamar are just good, who's better than them?
I mean, I think they are extreme talents, but the problem that I have
right now they are probably. Amon-Ra St. Brown's in that conversation, I think, as well.
Yeah, AJ Brown as well. I just think the problem.
I'm not 100% on AJ Brown. I don't think he's elite enough to just take over.
I'll say this: it's the word overused. That's too much for me. We've never seen anything like this. Yes, the fuck we have. Slick, I'm gonna say this, and Benny, if you don't believe me, I will send you guys the highlights because you know I did my homework on this shit. Jamar Chase is essentially what Chris Godwin is. Tell me what's the difference between them. They both like to run short routes. They're both dominant in dig routes. They both are good yak receivers. They like to step in between the tackles. Godwin and Jamar Chase basically do the same shit. Here's the only difference, fellas. If there's no Mike Evans on the Bucs roster, Godwin would be the number 1 man. You see what I'm saying? Okay. What is the difference, Benny? What's the difference have you seen that, again, I will send you the highlights later, fellas, but Jamar and Godwin are one and the same. What's the biggest difference? When it comes to their personnel skill, their route tree, their body of work, how they run, what is the difference?
They're very similar. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like you said, the key thing that's different is one's a wide receiver 2 and the other one's a wide receiver 1.
I rest my case, fellas. Thank you for that. And I'm going to take y'all silence with a grace of this brother know what he's talking about. That's all I'm saying. Jay Jettas.
AJ, you know me. I'll always take what you say seriously because you're always deep rooted in your opinion. And that's good because you back it with some factual stuff. You don't just say nonsense.
Well, like Benny was saying about the Hurricanes, I hear where you were going with it. You were talking about sometimes we get lost in the hype. the media,
Of course.
what was said. Now with the Hurricanes, that's not true because them motherfuckers was the truth. That's
Hey
God.
man, when it came to that debate,
I love the fact that we
everybody
got a
ignored.
gator saying that shit.
Everybody ignored the numbers I was starting. Then it just boiled down to the talent or the depth. I'm like, nah, let's keep it on the numbers, man.
Well,
Let's
numbers is cool, but this is a coach
But
right
then
here.
you got eras. You got 2001 was a very different era in college
Well,
football than it
Benny,
was
But
in
see, and
2019.
my counter to the era argument was okay. So if we talking about errors for defense, we got to talk about the difference between errors on offense. Offensive schemes are completely different
I'll go
than
with
what they
rules.
faced in 2001. So yeah, the era argument, I brought a little balance to that. But like I said, now the argument y'all made about the trenches, that probably would be where I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'll put
yes,
this in simple
sir.
terms.
He went to the trenches,
If
Slick.
it's 2019 and you take that 2001 Hurricanes team into you put them in a time machine and you take them to that national championship game there and then, the LSU Tigers win. However,
No,
you get
Slick.
that TARDIS, you get the Doctor Who TARDIS, and you whip those boys from LSU back to 2000. They are going to get their asses fucking whooped because they will not know what physical
So
fucking is.
so that
Joe Burrow will have his teeth knocked out in a game. We'll live see teeth flying across the fucking field. Wide receivers will never get up again because they're like, fuck, this is fucking hard, bro.
Vilma is going to take
They
off.
got bag eight just going boom. Ed Reed going,
I feel like
Chase, lifeless, crippled on the floor, like
what I did forget
first round
about was
pick, no
that
more.
the next year when they played Ohio State and they lost to Ohio State. Would you say that Ohio State team was better than the 2019 Tigers team?
No. The reason
So
why
if they had such and the Hurricanes
Twice as
offense
harder, doing it twice as harder. You got to. There's confidence. There's
and the
levels of
Hurricanes offense
complacency.
was
There's
better.
doing
They
it
were
twice as
more
hard.
explosive that second year than they were in 2001.
I get it, but Slick, I mean, Benny, I will say this as Slick, you know this as well. Numbers don't mean shit when it comes to football matchup. This is why we said this. Slick, hear me.
You just threw out all those numbers with Jamar
why is that
and Godwin,
again?
and now we ignore numbers.
Slick, this is why, because we already debunked this. You know this, Benny. We talked about this, Slick, about the trenches on both sides. Put it this way: if the Hurricanes time traveled to this rule of errors, you know what they would just simply do? I'm going to give you one simple name, Slick. Brian McKinney on the Hurricanes offensive line. Can you name me any dominant force on LSU's defensive line? Now, mind you, everyone knows LSU 2019, their defense was their kryptonite. What are they going to do?
Everybody keeps saying that, but it was the 33rd ranked defense. That's respectable.
Respectable, but not against the 0-1 line.
I'll stand by what I say. If you take the LSU team back in the day, they get their asses whooped. If you take the other team, I think it's a close game.
We going errors. So if they play and I know it's 2 different years, but it's basically the same fucking team. So they play Ohio State. They would have had to play in today's era. They would have had to play Ohio State like competition more than one time a year. So, like I said, that's why I kept trying to point to the level of competition they face. They don't in the BCS era. You don't really face competition up until you start talking about the bowl games.
I mean,
that's why
fair,
they got rid of the BCS.
They can't help that. They can't help.
But I'm saying because again, none of those teams they played in 2001 were better than that 2019 Alabama team.
Well, Nebraska and Virginia Tech were loaded.
They were not better.
They were loaded, but
we talking about go look. You have a Heisman Trophy winner at wide receiver.
I hear you.
Their entire wide receivers 1 through 4 went to the NFL.
I hear you.
You have Najee, a 1,000+ yard rusher, and then a Heisman quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa.
But again, and the problem is though with your theory, Benny, you still cannot name me any defensive lineman that would beat any of those hurricane linemen, and most importantly, you don't have an offensive lineman that's going to be able to handle Vince Wilfork.
Again, that's what I meant
Vince
by
Wilfork.
That's what I meant by modern offensive errors are going to neutralize those fast-moving defenses with things like no huddle, screens, RPOs. They're not just going to be able to headhunt the entire game.
It's not about headhunting.
The offense is too explosive to do
but
that.
Philip Buchanan was not a headhunting corner. He was a good coverage corner in Miami. Andre Rowe, the same. Ed Reed could do everything. That's what you're forgetting. All those guys were multi-talented. Vilma, you know Vilma. Vilma could cover and hit. Again, that defense was so loaded, and most of those guys were well-rounded. That's what made them special. See, when we were coming up, Benny and Slick, you remember you couldn't even be considered an elite player if you couldn't stop the fucking run and be a pass rusher. That's why with the Micah Parsons.
Okay, my argument with the LSU team, just to go on this, is what did they do before it? They beat UCF. Great, well done. The year after that, they went 5-5.
Yeah, you talking about the year?
But you were talking about what Miami did the following year. I'm looking at what LSU did the following year and the year before. They didn't really do it.
Because we lost we lost damn near the whole offense. We lost a lot of our secondary. No. Because that Miami team, you talked about the depth, right, AJ? And how they were loaded. Because a lot of those names people were naming in 2001, they didn't play. They were freshmen. So like Kellen Winslow, Frank Gore, Willis McGee, they weren't starters.
Well, no, all the running backs played, Benny. That's what you forget.
They played, but they were not. Clinton Portis ran that show.
Well, no. Clinton ran the show because he was the speed guy. Frank Gore was the enforcing bruiser. Go back and watch those games. When they brought Frank Gore in, nobody was stopping. Frank Gore is the north and south guy, and he is the embodiment of HB draw running backs. He'll cut you, he'll get you. Willis too. And
look, man, the teams they play stunk.
Hey, look, we can't help that. Are we going to Hey, look,
that's why they got rid of the BCS.
Are we going to
That's like because they got mad. They got mad at the SEC
for all those years. We can't.
They got mad. They got mad at the SEC, so they had to get rid of the BCS. And now people are scheduling more competitive games.
Look, hey, at the end of the day, them Hurricane boys, and I'm a Gator fan, Slick said, I am a Gator fan. Look, back then, you know this, well, you from the South too, Shred. You from the South too, Benny. You can't fuck with two same college teams in the state. That's blasphemous. No, if I were to say I'm a Florida State fan and Gator, somebody gonna slap me. They're gonna be like, bro, no, you ain't. You ain't about that.
All I'm gonna say is when they put out their ranking of the top teams, you saw who was number one.
Oh, I saw, but that's a lie. That's a lie.
You saw who was number one.
I would say this: the 08 Gators will put belt to ass to the 2019 Tigers.
I'll say they would have a better shot than that 01 Miami.
The Pouncey brothers. Again, we can name matchups. Your defensive line ain't fucking with the Pouncey brothers. Your defensive line ain't fucking with that backfield or Percy or Lewis Murphy or the great Tim Tebow, the greatest college quarterback of all time.
That's why I said I would argue that Florida team more than that Miami team, because that Miami team it's gonna come down to making a play. Like the quarterbacks are gonna have to do something, and I'm gonna trust Joe Burrow to make something happen over Ken Dorsey.
Okay, and that's your right. That's your right.
And if we talking about Florida versus LSU, I can't argue with Tim Tebow. Now he was the greatest college quarterback ever. I can't argue. I wouldn't be mad if somebody picked Florida over that LSU team. I wouldn't be mad.
I mean, yeah,
because that's why I say if you the LSU offense checks out. Let's say the Miami defense, LSU offense equal out. Boom, it's even. I don't trust Ken Dorsey to make that play against our respectable defense. I just don't.
Who was your corner? What corner on that defense is fucking? It was Andre Johnson.
I'm not worried about Andre Johnson.
What?
I'm not worried about
you ain't worried about Andre?
Because Ken Dorsey not getting him the ball. I just don't trust him to
He
get the ball.
didn't. I'm gonna just tell you this: the way Jake Delhomme got the ball to Steve Smith, that's all Ken Dorsey would have had to do with Andre.
I just
Come
don't.
on now, you know this, Benny. How many times did you see?
I ain't worried about Andre Johnson because
How many times, Benny? How many
It's
times you see
just
Jake
Andre Johnson. If we did decent against that Alabama team and that Clemson team, and that's like we shut down CeeDee Lamb. So I'm not worried about Andre Johnson because he's a physical wide receiver. He didn't go off like that when he was at Miami against equal competition.
I mean, the man had 10 touchdowns. 10
Again,
touchdowns
yeah, against
10
Troy, against fucking them bum. When he played Virginia Tech, he got locked up. When he played Boston College, he got locked up. When he played the quality teams, he got locked up. He ain't go off. He went off against Nebraska, but they were yeah.
And Nebraska was a squad back then.
But that's all. When he played against them other good teams,
Virginia Tech had a squad,
and he got locked up.
But they had a squad, Benny. You got to remember back then. Slick said it already. Back then, anybody can hit you. It didn't matter if you were sorry. You could hit. One of the greatest things I remember. Do you remember that? Hey, clamp. You can say clamped up all you want to, but it is what it is. Like I said, Slick and Benny, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes is if the Justice League and Avengers both decided to just join forces. It was just legends everywhere. It wasn't fair. That's
because you don't even like Jay Jettas and Jamar Chase. So
I don't mind them. I look. Well, first of all, Jay Jettas gets on my nerve just because of his ego.
So you're not even rocking with us just because you don't even like him.
I like a bit of LSU. I'd love to go to Death Valley. We'll go there one time.
First off, the 2006 LSU was my fucking squad with Michael Clayton. No, it was in the 2004 with Michael Clayton, Joseph Adai. That was my squad. I fucked with them. Trust me. If
I fuck with anyone who fucks up Alabama in a national championship game.
Exactly. That's the Nick Saban coach that I tell everybody. If y'all
and that's all respect to Nick Saban because he is the greatest coach of all time. I don't care what anyone fucking says. The guy is a fucking legend.
Benny, people talk about Nick Saban at Alabama. I'm like, no, go watch Nick Saban at LSU.
We sent them to the we sent them to the NFL. You know,
yeah, that's my point. Like Nick Saban and LSU was the foundation of what it was to get those boys. You remember Jamarcus and Clayton and Landry and fucking Joseph Adai. Put it this way, Joseph Adai had one of the luckiest careers. Didn't y'all win a championship in college and then he goes to
Peyton Manning
and win? Come on. Like, trust me, Benny. When it comes to football, if you're nice, you're nice. You know this, Benny. If you got a squad, we gonna say this my team, but these motherfuckers over here is cooking. That was to me my favorite LSU is that team right there because Jamarcus was actually hungry. Ironically speaking, at that time, he wanted to play. Now he ran.
I don't think you guys are talking college football because we don't get that over here.
No, look.
Hey man, you gotta get one of them jailbroke fire sticks, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got. I meant legally, but I've got one of them. Don't you worry. Don't worry. We got this.
Benny, tell this man when we were growing up. We were spoiled. We thought this type of football era in early 2000s college would be here forever. And then
I say this, man. I try not to be that guy that's like, oh, the old, especially with football, basketball, and like football. I try not to be like the old guy that's like, oh, back in my day. Because I do like because check like are they as because they had to do something about the safety of the game. They had to because of that movie so they had to change things up, right? But I will say that the players today on defense are 1,000 times more skilled than the guys back then.
You could be you could just be a hammer.
Right,
because now you've got a surgical precision tool.
like if you take John Lynch and put him in today's NFL, he wouldn't be as effective because he couldn't just go out there and be a concussion man. Like he couldn't just go out there and just
That's
throw
true,
it,
but then someone like Randy Barber would probably have a bigger career
right.
with his
So
technical ability.
right, or like a Reggie Bush, you know what I'm saying? Like his NFL career would have been completely, or Vince Young if he was in today's NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, he would have been all right if he didn't go to the fucking Jeff fucking Fisher, but you know,
Yes, I can agree. I can
but
agree.
like I think that today's defense is like defensive because the defensive linemen and the linebackers have to be more like they're more athletic. Hell, even shit, like you got defensive tackles running 4.7s. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't
Carlos
happening.
Dunlap.
Right, like that wasn't happening back then. You got the average linebacker has to run like a fucking 4.6, 4.5. Like, so
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
not
say
gonna
average is about 4.5, 4.4.
right, like even look at like Michael Parsons, like a fucking like fucking Myles Garrett. Or you know what I'm saying? Like those are the type of guys you have to find for defense now because the game is so fast, because these players are so
Every
explosive
year
and
they get faster.
athletic.
Every year you get a bigger guy who runs a
Right.
fucking.
Even the offensive line now. Though
Christian
so
Watson, the
it
dude that we got, the big boy, he fucking ran a decent fucking 40, man. Like, I couldn't run that fucking 40.
and even on the offensive
You
line,
know?
you have the offensive linemen have to be faster and stronger. Like you don't get these big boys no more. Like even these big boys are like still athletic and quick because they have to keep up with these defensive freaks. So I just because they can't headhunt to the degree they used to back, you know, in the
It's
I'm
forced
not
them to be
gonna
more skilled, is what you're saying.
was that
It's forced them to become more skilled
yes.
rather
And
than
the defenses, like even like the schemes, they have to be more
robust.
complicated, you know, compared to back then. That's my opinion on
I think that's a very valid point. I like that. That's a good top. That is a
it.
good.
And I think as people continue to complain, I think they will pull back on all of the like catering to the offense. I think that because I feel like that's just the course of nature. Like
I think
they
it's
overcorrect, so they'll eventually
passing
pull it
interference is
back.
probably the worst one. Some of the quarterback hits are a bit questionable, and you're like, really? Is that really
Well,
dead?
well, here's the question, fellas. Has it
I
really
understand the
gotten
defensive
safer?
receiver, but I'm all for that because the bang eight is probably something that should have been taken out of
Well,
football.
I mean, we got the quarterbacks because Tom Brady. So
Well, more than that, ironically speaking, Tom Brady is not the most like quarterback that got the
no, I
most
mean they
penalties.
didn't
It
change
was
the quarterback for the hitting them low, but that didn't come till Tom Brady got injured.
well, in 2008. Yeah, well, I hear you, but for me, guys, I like if I like the old. It's not about the old ways. It's the mentality, the hunger that I see. We got too many of these young motherfuckers now, like your Jay Jettas out here, is flossing
What's up,
chains and
man? You
shit.
be talking like he messing around with your woman or something, man.
Nah,
What's your beef for him?
it's the mindset of motherfuckers. They'll have this shitty season. They'll have their own little personal numbers, but
He
the
ain't
first
had a
worst.
shitty season though.
No. I'm talking about as a team, as a whole. See, there's the
Oh.
difference. You can have single accolades, but if
I think
when they ask that
it's
question,
because we got humble wide receivers that don't showboat at all.
yes, see, I'm you, Benny. I'm used to the guys like
That's
Evans and Godwin.
that's the difference. But it's
That,
entertaining to see him do the gritty. My son does the fucking gritty.
I get it, but then I don't like those.
He don't even know who Justin Jefferson is, and he does the gritty. I had to
Yeah.
show him. I went, "This is the guy who invented the shit." And he went,
Yeah,
"Oh,
and
cool."
I'm not taking anything away. The man is a very good receiver, the best in the NFL. So is Jamar. Now, in my opinion, Jamar has more. Like to me, overall, Jamar might be just slightly better than Justin Jefferson because he can do things more at a higher level when it comes to his route tree. I'm not taking anything away from
I think
Benny.
he's tough.
I think they're both fantastic players. When it comes to talent, these motherfuckers got the talent. However, I will take character over talent any day. Why? Because it's the situation that we got with Devin White, because of the Micah Parsons situation. That shit, even with AB, even with Odell, when you think of yourself above
I
the
know,
team,
right? That's you,
and when you want to
what?
be an IG honey rather than a football player, I do have a problem with that because Benny, now you know the numbers out here better than I do. When it comes to the single average income in the United States of America, I think for one person is like in the 50s or 60,000s. These motherfuckers on average, just the minimum NFL salary is like $700,000-800,000. So even if that guy gets cut after a full year, you can afford to have a better life than your average person. If your everyday person gets fired out here, they're living hell. The rent is
Well,
still due.
so that argument, maybe I'm just a little maybe it's I'm because I'm younger. I don't know. But like even that, so I try to compare it to because at the end of the day, that's still a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to think of it comparatively to their job field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my job field, somebody might say I'm getting paid more, even though I only got to go to work 2 days out the week, and I probably leave at like
You
1
lucky
o'clock in the
motherfucker.
afternoon. You know, and somebody's probably looking at me like, "Oh, he
So
need to
there's
be
me with
more
a 40 hour
grateful
week.
because he's making all this money and he's just only going to work 2 days out the week." Like that's some bullshit, which people do because they complain about the people who get to work from home and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at them but because they make X amount of dollars for their job field.
I
If
agree.
if if that's what they like, because
And that money's set by the league, right? That
yeah,
the league
yeah.
minimum is set by the league. So
As I said, I'm not gonna be mad. Like character,
and it
like
takes a lot to get there. Like look at the percentage. Like from high school to college to NFL. The chances of you making it to make that kind of money just for that short period of the NFL average, which is 3 years.
and they don't have to pay them. So if you worried about their character, then don't pay them. But they gonna pay them because they got the talent. So I mean, you can't be mad at the players. You gotta be mad at the people that's paying them the money because the players don't pay themselves.
You right.
Nope.
You right on that.
It's a,
I
it's
just
a,
for
it's
me,
a private institution. So
and then
yeah, I'm just the type, Benny, where if you lose, I don't want to see you going on a podcast or Twitter bitching
But
about it.
if they didn't want them, if the league didn't want them to do that, see, this is where it's like you can't really blame the players because I think the league allows it because it's gonna bring more eyes to the league. So the league is like, y'all can have your little podcast, you can have because that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna bring more people to our
they
league.
also can't
So
control that shit. What you do in your personal time, as
if
long as you don't.
if the league didn't want them to have these fucking podcasts and shit, they wouldn't they wouldn't have them. I promise you, they wouldn't.
They're right into the contracts.
Right, they would put them in the contracts, but they're not because that's still it's like the hackers and the cheaters in Call of Duty, right? Everybody's like, man, Call of Duty needs to do this to get rid of these hackers and these cheaters because all the streamers are cheating. Call of Duty's not gonna do anything because all the streamers that's free advertisement. All
Okay.
those kids are watching these streamers. We know they're cheating, but Call of Duty's not gonna fix it because then the cheaters would suck and then the kids wouldn't watch them. And now you get rid of your free advertisement. Call of Duty don't have to put no commercials out because you got all these streamers, free advertisement. So I mean, to me, it's kind of the equivalent. Like if they didn't want them to have podcasts, they wouldn't have them. I promise you, they wouldn't.
Damn, it
It's the
sounds
NFL
like
we talking about.
y'all basically saying AJ Turner, you gotta get that hate out your heart.
You the old head, man. You got the old head mentality,
Nah,
man.
I just look at it like this. For me, I just know like when you're on a
Well,
job, I compare it to everyday job. When you're on an everyday job, you can't go in there saying I'm this person, this and that. You gotta abide by it now. Yes, if you don't want that job, go
Hold
get
on
something
now.
better.
Now, if you that motherfucker at your job,
Yeah.
and if you the number one motherfucker at your job, and you know you that one that's holding all this shit together, and you gonna walk around that bitch with a little bit different attitude than just a regular
Oh, no,
motherfucker.
no, I feel you. I get you, but at the end of the day, though, Benny, you know this. Your everyday, you can have that mindset, but we know in reality there are people out there you can act like that, but get fired. You ain't got no $70,000 check to hold you down. That's all I'm saying. I just
well,
want.
and then if I was able to sign a 4-year deal with my job, then maybe.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, no, trust me. If I
Hey,
could.
be thankful your guys don't get sucker contracts because they are fully guaranteed for the amount of years that they sign. So if you sign a bum for fucking 4 years, you are paying him for 4 years, regardless. There's no guaranteed money. The guaranteed money is the contract. So you sign a 40 million contract for 4 years, which is 10 years per year. That's what you're paying,
That's
regardless how much you
NBA
play
like
them,
that too.
regardless how well they perform. That's what you're paying.
Wasn't the Lakers still paying Luau Dang in like 2022 or something?
Yeah,
like
man, look. The Bucs were paying Dirk Cutter and Lovie Smith money when we fired them. Put it this way, I get what you're saying, Biddy. I mean, I want these guys to get their money because one, we know that the owners, especially in the past, were screwing over these players.
Losing money.
So I don't mind them asking.
Money.
What I just don't like, for me personally, I guess my stand is someone who's coached kids. If you the motherfucker who goes to your locker room looking at a tweet during a game, I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah. If we talking high school or even college, yeah, but if we grown ass men,
Hey, even as a grown ass man, if you checking your tweet in the middle of a game, even if you're a professional player, there's
yeah. In the middle of a game,
most of the great players, they might have been assholes, but they didn't have to go to social media and talk shit. They just got the shit done. For me, if I had that kind of money, Benny, I would just flex after the win.
Skill position players have always been like this, though. You think Dion wouldn't have been on social media if he had Twitter?
But that's prime. That's the problem. I say this all the time, Benny. A lot of motherfuckers got the ego of prime.
Service added to his fucking.
I mean, but it's prime. Prime has shit that you can't.
You don't think Michael Irvin would have been on fucking Facebook or Instagram?
Michael Irvin got cocaine? What you. Oh no, I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, skill positions have always been like Chad Johnson.
So you go, look at me. I'm the man. I'm the man.
They've always been like that, though.
I get it, but I like the more, like, if you're gonna be cocky, I better see some.
AJ's got that lineman's attitude. Just give me fucking food. Let me get in the gym.
This is right for me, because those be the same motherfuckers when they get put on their ass. Like Benny, when Michael Parsons got put on his ass by Leonard Fournette, he went to the internet screaming, "This is a travesty!" Like, motherfucker, you got put on your ass. It happens. Everybody gets put on their ass. What you gonna do to get better? And that's all I'm saying about it. And that's why it goes back to the Devin White situation. Devin White, Benny, was the man in Tampa. He was literally the best linebacker in the NFL during that playoff run. And he fucked that up because he listened to the wrong people. You know this, Benny. And sometimes
he had that Lombardi trophy in that ring, and he just went, I don't need
Benny, you know this. There's always that one motherfucker in your crew that tell you something that what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear, bro. You like that? You should ask for one.
I told you I can go find out, bro. His grandma work at the post.
Hey, look,
daddy.
You go find out, because
he be coming when he would come home, and at the Super Bowl year he came home and signed a bunch of jerseys, and they were selling them at the post office and shit. So
I rest my fucking case.
That's how they made.
So he was riding on that high horse, literally and figuratively, because he likes horses.
Did he get a jersey?
You said what?
He likes
horses.
You said, did I get one?
Did you get a jersey? Did you go to the post office and get a jersey?
Oh, no, I ain't get one. My daddy ain't get me one, man. He ain't get me one.
I know. As much as I'm talking,
I say this, though, man.
You're saying the tennis.
I say that, like, but when you look across the league, though, as a whole, like, I don't really think there's a lot of, like diva players, really. None of the quarterbacks are doing, like, Lamar. He's pretty low key. Jalen Hurts, he's Mr. Perfect. I don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Burrow, he's low key. Josh Allen is low key. Like,
quarterbacks have to be though. Quarterbacks have to be low key. It's always been like that. Quarterbacks can't be too flamboyant. It pisses too many people
But
off when you
even
don't perform.
even I said I'm trying to think though, like wide receivers. I mean, Jamar Chase ain't even like a loud guy. He actually
CeeDee
pretty
Lamb,
low key.
CeeDee Lamb,
Big Lamb's loud, yeah. Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb is loud. Is loud as shit.
Is he
He's very
Mhm.
loud, and that's the problem in Dallas. You can.
off the field? I don't hear
It ain't
CeeDee
even
Lamb.
about, but it's not. It ain't always got to be off the field, but also even on the field. You're bragging about you doing something. Meanwhile, your team is still down, and the only
Stephon
reason,
Diggs is pretty loud as well.
yeah,
He's
a lot of
loud.
Benny, a
You
lot of
said,
them motherfuckers is loud. A
said
But
lot
Stephon
of
Diggs.
them.
but to your point, Benny, I think it's calmed down a bit. I think we
Oh
had a couple of nutcase. I suppose that you just go to Pittsburgh because that's where all the fucking weirdos go.
yeah.
All fucking nuts down there. Like anyone who goes, as soon as their foot steps in fucking in that yellow towel fucking state, they're like, yeah, I'm now a head case.
I feel
I'm
like we
now
had
officially a fucking head
more
case.
diva wide receivers in the 2000s than we do now.
Well, Benny, yes and no, but here's the only thing. Remember, in the early
The
2000s, that's
cornerbacks are
when
getting cocky now.
The
The cornerbacks
NFL
are getting
started,
cocky.
the media started to really blow up at that time. So your Ocho Cincos were becoming out of there, your TOs. So realistically, that's really the only receivers that I saw in the early 2000s was Ocho, Chad Johnson, and TO. Everyone else, they did their thing. Like to me, Slick, Marvin Harrison is Mike Evans. They were both quiet warriors, but I'll say this, like you're Benny. I think for the most part, the most players that know, like, hey, this is my only time to shine, and I got to make it happen. They're more quiet. I think the media focuses on the loudmouths for those reasons. Like I said, I rock with Justin, but sometimes it's just certain shit that he does that rub me the wrong way, and I'd be like, man, look, like this year, if he don't get
AJ out
1,000
here,
yards,
low
I'm
key,
going
admitting
in.
he can't do the gritty.
If he don't get 1,000 yards this season, Benny, don't you let nobody disrespect Mike Evans, because Mike Evans did it with all the quarterbacks.
I don't put no disrespect on Mike Evans' name.
You and Benny, that's another thing. That's why
I don't know. He might. Because we got. I think Baker gonna spread the ball a little bit more. Did Chris Godwin come back?
Chris Godwin won't be
Yeah,
effective.
we just don't want to rush him back.
Yeah, they won't play him till probably week 5, week 6. You know,
Yeah,
like
I think we got. I think he gonna spread the ball around more. So it Mike, Mike might
Mike is
not get.
already top 10. He's
He
already
might
top
now.
10.
I'll say he might. That 1,000-yard streak might get broke this year.
No, he's gonna be. Well, he's already top 10. If he breaks that streak, Slick, I'm putting him in the top 6.
You create situations where he would. So for me, like I would probably put him next to Emeka or next to Chris, and you play a high-low concept. So basic, and you have choice routes. So if the safety bites on number 1, being Mike Evans, now you've got a choice route where you run the post because the safety's bit, right? You can't defend both. If the safety bites down on number 2, now you're going to throw it to Mike Evans, who's going to be on that deep. Because you're going to take him on one-on-one any day because his statistics state that on one-on-one, he's one of the best wide receivers in football.
Look, man, Mike Evans is that guy. He's him, and we all know this. And when he breaks Jerry Rice's record, which I think Benny and Slick will do by week 13, everybody else who out there hating, y'all people out there hating on Evans, you're going to have to shat the fact out. Because at that point, I don't want to hear shit. Because if it was so easy, Benny and Slick, to get 1,000 yards, every wide receiver that people love to deep throat and glaze would have done it. So at this point,
I think it's the concept of people. There's more. So there are less 1,000 yard running backs than there are 1,000 yard receiving yard receivers.
mm-hmm.
So you can getting 1,000 yards on the ground is much harder now than it is to get 1,000 yards in the air, is what people are saying. Like getting 1,000 yards in the air, there's probably close to 20 players that will get 1,000 yards. So the statistics, as they're saying, is it's much easier. However, the issue is streaking it is very different.
100%. And that's how you know, Slick and Benny, that people don't know football. And that's why this is what happens. Benny, are you ready to have a comedic moment? Are you ready to laugh, Benny?
What that?
Slick has seen this before, but this, you know this. And again, y'all, check Benny out on his TikToks. This man be talking facts, and they can't handle it. And they
got
take
the baby daddy's mad at me right now on this.
I know they is, and they can't handle it. But this is how you know when you're good in your intellect and you won, when people attack your personal character or when you ask basic, simple questions on how shit get done. Benny, this is what happened to me.
Better player. I'm not trying to cross over basketball.
Mike Evans never been a top 3 receiver.
Oh no, basketball.
Wait. Time out. I'm glad you said that. Miguel, give me your sources to that. According to who?
He's just never been a top 3
Miguel,
receiver.
According to who?
Nobody's considered him a top.
No, stop it, Sage. I'm asking Miguel a question. According to who? Who's your source?
Everybody.
Who is everybody?
The people.
Me.
Okay, Miguel. What? Okay, Miguel.
Better player. I'm not trying to cross over basketball.
Mike Evans never been a top 3 receiver.
Oh no, basketball.
Wait. Time out. I'm glad you said that. Miguel, give me your sources to that. According to who?
He's just never been a top 3
Miguel.
receiver.
According to who?
Nobody's considered him a top.
No, stop it, Sage. I'm asking Miguel a question. According to who? Who's your source?
Everybody.
Who is everybody?
The people.
Me.
Okay, Miguel. What? Okay, Miguel. What is the difference?
I don't know what y'all talking
Miguel,
about.
what is the What is the seam route?
A seam route?
Yeah, don't Google it right now. Go,
bro.
No, bro. Go. What is the seam route?
Bro,
It's a route on the sideline, up the sideline.
Wrong.
What is it?
A seam is up the middle, in the middle of the field.
No.
That don't change the fact he was never top 3.
He's asking the dumbest questions.
Okay. I want to give you
what he's doing is he's questioning your credibility.
Okay, Miguel. I'm gonna ask you this.
No, I get what he's saying, but that still don't.
Miguel, stop it, Sage. Miguel, what's a hitch?
Bro,
come on, bro.
You don't know. That's why.
Nigga.
You don't know.
Yo,
which is like
Miguel,
come back.
what is a hitch?
Bro, you don't know what a hitch is, bro.
If you're going to 10,
it's a comeback route, Brody.
It's not a comeback. This is what I deal with, Benny. This is what I deal with. These are the same motherfuckers that will.
2016, Mike Evans was a top 2 wide receiver. Jordy Nelson was the number 1, in my opinion.
Yes.
We did this last week, didn't we? So
yes,
T.Y. Hilton was the receiving yard king with 1,448 yards. And this is, I'll get your opinion on this, Benny, because you're an impartial person I can add to the list. But he only got himself 6 touchdowns. So to me, that's not elite. But let's go and look at this touchdown ratio. Jordy Nelson didn't get the same amount of yardage, but he got 14 touchdowns. He got 1,200 yards with an extra 57 on top. Mike Evans got himself a little bit more, but less touchdowns.
Who the fuck was throwing Jordy Nelson the ball?
Who do you think?
Exactly. Oh, and there were other weapons on that team also to alleviate the stress of him being the number 1 wide receiver.
But Benny, you're saying it because you remember, because you know ball and you saw it. These are the people when
Julio Jones got a whole high volume wide receiving yard, but he didn't get the touchdowns. And this has always been Julio Jones's bugaboo. He's got elite numbers in yardage. He's never had elite numbers in receiving.
Not knowing what a hitch route is wild.
That's my point, Benny. These are the. This is but Benny.
5 yards and in towards the quarterback, bro.
But Benny, it's just like how you ask people the basics shit and how it takes to raise our community. What do, Benny? They attack you. Well, you did, and you're like, you're asking them basic shit.
I'll tell you one thing that I always say: what's one route that Mike Evans isn't very good at? And they go, crickets. I can tell you what, he can't run a good route. He can't run a good.
If we're talking about the regular route tree, Mike Evans can run it all. If you talking about like off the script, free, but
he's not a big route guy, Benny. That's the thing. He's not a yak guy.
He never has been. He never has been.
But Benny, like you said, when they didn't know what a hitch was, And I didn't even play the other part, but Benny, there was a
It's
guy.
a comeback. That's my favorite. It's a comeback.
It's a comeback. And
If
Benny,
it's a comeback, why is it not called a hitch? There's a reason it's called a hitchback. It's called a comeback, and that's called a hitch.
There was a guy, Slick and Benny, that played football. He came in there. He said, "Look here, bro. I played the game. If you were a receiver and your quarterback asked you to run a seam and you ran to the outside, you're never getting the ball again. You're never getting the ball again." But this is what we deal with. Again, Benny, as you can see, we get on this here. We love we are fans of our teams, but we are the fans of the game of football first. Like you, how you get people with stats. That's what we do. We give you stats and facts.
But I'm not even like that. I'm not a. I said my football experience stops at high school, but I'm not. I know the basics, and I can.
You only have to watch football to know what a hitch route is. When the hitch route's caught, guess what they say on the fucking broadcast? What a great way he played the hitch. Come on.
Like a lot of my I'm more of I like what I see. Like football is one of those sports where it's like, dude, what do you see with your fucking eyes? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with the Cam Newton debate. What the fuck did you see with your eyes? Like when they because today I made the video about the Great White Hope quarterback and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I'm not a Josh Allen fan. I just like how you feel about Jettas. I feel about Josh Allen. I just don't see what everybody sees in Josh Allen. I just don't.
Josh Allen does something very elite with who's his wide receivers.
You said what?
Who's his wide receivers
right now?
Who's good on his team?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the Bills like that.
There you go. That's why he's elite. He's elite because you can't name his wide receiver.
I went first. Well, he had fucking Stephon Diggs.
But
if we talking last year,
he's still.
If we talking last year, he had what was the tight end?
No, Benny. I know where you're going.
Name his players, and you're telling me he's.
But I don't watch the Bills.
Well, it's not about watching. Most people don't watch the Vikings, but they know
he had Shakir. He had Shakir. He had what the guy?
You make him sound like he's a fucking household name. That guy is nobody.
He had Cook at running back.
No, but he doesn't have a complete team.
He had nobody. He's got a bunch of fucking nobodies around him, and he still wins.
He had better weapons than Lamar did.
Oh, facts. I agree with that. But can you turn around and say that he's one of the best quarterbacks in football?
Look at the division Josh Allen plays in. They stink.
We
fucking
stink.
I agree with
that. And Benny, I agree with what your video was because I was the same way. I said this: Saquon Barkley should have won MVP last year, hands down. And if you
wasn't going to give it to Lamar, it should have went to Saquon.
Yeah,
that's it.
Statistically,
but when people are saying that, like people looked at me crazy when I'm like, I don't think Josh Allen is better than Cam Newton, and I'm like, if you put Josh Allen on that Carolina Panthers team, does Josh Allen get MVP?
I don't think many people would.
No, not at all.
Was built for doing that team.
Not at all.
So he's not elite then.
Because
because
I think you put Tom Brady on that team, he ain't going to do the same thing.
Right.
Look, but they're two different play styles. Everybody like Josh Allen is here because of
Josh Allen doesn't play the same way as Cam Newton. It's not even close. He can run with the ball, but no one runs like Cam.
What I'm saying, like the reason they take a chance on Josh Allen to develop Josh Allen is because of Cam Newton.
So you're saying he set the tone of what it is to be a big quarterback that can move. He was ahead of his time, essentially. Cam was ahead of his time.
100%.
Yes.
Cam was ahead of his time. And we're not knocking that. No, again.
People looked at me, people like he's better than Cam Newton. I don't think so.
Well,
I think some of his career probably is right now, but in one single year, Cam Newton's MVP can't be touched by many people because of just how good he was.
Yeah, Josh Allen has had a better supporting cast and organization than Cam Newton had.
Oh, we know that.
So
Benny,
that's why now. I'm talking about the people who were
oh
looking
yeah,
at me
well they're
crazy.
fucking stupid. They don't know shit. These are the same people that go, "Well, you do know he had 8 All Pros." Not to mention,
I just don't. I don't get the hype behind Josh. It's like Justin Herbert. I don't get the hype.
Hey, no,
I
I ain't gonna hold you.
totally agree with you on that one. I give Josh Allen his flowers because he's done it with nobodies as well. That's the only reason he has the better credibility.
Yeah,
In my opinion, Justin Herbert, I don't rate at all. I don't have. I don't know.
yeah,
Because he had Stephon Diggs. He's not a nobody.
well, Stephon Diggs is a fucking head case too.
But that's beside. Okay, that's beside. That's one player that you are able to name that's good.
But then I don't keep up with both.
But Benny, what did Stephon do in playoff
But
time?
you don't need to keep up because if his players are that good, you just know their names.
Right. Josh ain't that.
I know who Jeff. I know a couple of the players on the Vikings that are worth knowing.
Shit, Addison would be an upgrade than
Addison's
what Josh
fucking
got.
Like if you ask me about the Jets, I don't know nobody on the Jets because I don't.
The Jets don't have an MVP fucking quarterback, so that's probably
right. It's just I know what Slick Benny. You gotta think of it this way. It's just your average everyday person. If they didn't watch football, you'll still know who Jay Jettis is. You'll know who Jamar Chase is. You'll know who Mike Evans is. You'll know who Devontae Adams is. Don't nobody know shit about the Bills receiver core. You know why? Because they ain't worth talking about. And even with Stephon, look at Stephon now.
It's the same for Ravens. No one's talking about their wide receiver because they ain't got nobody yet. Not yet.
They can't do shit. I don't care what nobody says.
But whoever
I don't think he don't have the. Zay Flowers isn't bad. He's not a number one.
That's what we're saying, Benny. He's not a true expert.
You gotta build it.
He's a guy that should be a second string. But you know what? We're gonna get these final words out of here because I'm gonna eat my food and then continue to sip my drinky drink. But Benny, I want to ask you this. First of all, appreciate you having us. Tell everybody where they can find you and what is your expectations for the Bucs this season. So tell everybody where they can find you and your expectations.
Man, on Instagram, on TikTok, man, I've been arrogant or Benny_Ray3. That's my 2 pages, man. Also, I've been arrogant on Instagram, but expectations for this season, we're gonna beat the shit out of the Saints. The Panthers gonna get spanked. Now, where I think we'll take the division, I don't know. I think we're gonna have a good season, bro. I see. I haven't looked at the schedule, but I give us at least 11 wins. At minimum 11.
Cool.
I like that.
I think Baker's gonna have a good season. It's just like I think the young fellas are gonna take a lot of pressure off Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's gonna come back in the middle of the season. Give Mike him and Baker had a good connection before he got hurt. I think we're gonna have an explosive offense, bro. We really gonna have if Baker comes in and he builds off last season, or if he just plays like he did last season, we're gonna have an explosive offense. The Saints are gonna fucking suck. They got Tyler Show. Not worried about them. Carolina, they have good wide receivers, but it's Carolina. I think we'll be good. We should in Atlanta. We'll be fine. Atlanta, we might drop one to Atlanta, maybe. But that's dependent on if Penix pans out. I don't see Kirk if Kirk comes in, he might get us one time. But I think we'll sweep the Saints. We'll sweep Carolina. We might split with Atlanta. But yeah, man, we'll take care of the division. I'm not worried about it.
I can dig it, big dog. All right, Benny. Well, I appreciate your time, man. You take care of yourself. And
sure.
As always, go Bucs, brother.
Hell yeah, for sure, man. Be easy out there, bro. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, bro.
Anytime, bro.
Guys, we're going to take one little quick break, and then we're going to get right back to our final thoughts, and then we will wrap this bad boy up.
Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we gonna do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we gonna do? Let's get it. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
That there is what I want to leave you with, Buck fans. What are we going to do to separate ourselves from the rest? And we got it this season. I expect big things. Buck fans, check out that Steelers game this weekend. I know I am. I'm going to be evaluating. Broswell, you're on notice. Get your shit together. Jacob Parrish, continue to grind. Emeka and them, do your thing. Evans, sit your ass out. You don't need to play until maybe one session during the third preseason. And after that, everybody else, do your thing.
Third preseason is literally just I think this preseason game that we got coming up might be the one that you see Mike in. Because the one after that is literally just the bottom core of the roster.
That's true. You know what? Good call, Coach. You're right. If anything,
it used to be the fourth game, but I think it's now the third game because they got rid of one, didn't they?
Right. You're right. They might only play them one session and then everybody else.
I reckon they'll have one drive. I reckon Mike will have one drive. I reckon the starters will have one full drive.
I got you on that. So those are your final thoughts, Coach Slick?
Pretty much, man. Hey, I got myself a fucking playoff game myself. If we win this motherfucker, we get promoted. Hopefully it means a ring. We don't know because it used to. Last time you guys watched me, and I know you did because I really appreciate you watching me. We all went all the way to Brit Bowl. They scrubbed that now. We don't have that. So what happens is you win a playoff game and you go against the worst team in the division above you. You beat them and you go. You take their spot. Basically, you take their spot. So that's what's going to happen. So it's kind of like there's no championship game anymore. So it kind of loses a bit of pizzazz, it loses a bit of juice. But that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this as our chip game, and we just go in there and whoop some ass. And this team, I'll tell you one thing I know about them. Same shit, different formation. They run the same shit out of 4 different formations. Exactly the same. Fucking mesh. Mesh, fucking mesh.
Well,
sick of fucking mesh right now. I'm like, fucking
mesh their asses. No homo, but just mesh them. Put this. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that.
I'm gonna bring a bout out. I'm gonna bring a bout out.
You look. That's what you gotta do. You can tell that your players. AJ Turnip said this.
Whip the bout.
We want to hear.
That's gonna be the lesson, man. I'm gonna say every time we make a play, we're gonna go whip the bout. Whip the bout.
Whip the belt. Rip the belt. Look, you gorilla pimps out there. All right, y'all. Thank you, though, for checking us out. As always, check out It's About Bucking Time. Give Coach Slick an opportunity. Go check his playoff games out. You got a stream, send that shit, Slick, and I'm going to send it everybody else. Guys, TikTok as well, AJ Turnup. Again, YouTube channel, It's About Bucking Time. I will holler at y'all later. Y'all take care of yourselves. Go Bucs, and let's get ready for this game this Saturday. All right, talk to you later, Brother Slick. Be easy, pimp.
Yeah, look at you.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're gonna crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I'm